This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. This is the only show in the entire metro area that focuses on business expansion, construction, real estate, economic development, all those things that go into making Omaha even more vibrant, prosperous, and a little bigger as well. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, a man who is absolutely legendary in his real estate deal-making ability, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, Jeff. You want a piece of me?
Well, it depends on what you're asking.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want a piece of me?
Okay.
After 54 years, the year before I was born, my parents built a house at 9720 Haskell Street, 5 blocks south of Center. And yesterday, Twist of Fate estate sales that are legendary in the estate sale business opened the house up. It's a very large house, 6 bedrooms. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and everything must go.
So like what, like your kindergarten report cards available, stuff like that?
Those are priceless. Those might have been taken out. I did have a friend call me and say, I was in your house at the estate sale, and I found something that you drew as a kid, and it was behind some magazines, and so I'm saving that. But
I hope they didn't say what magazines they were.
From a classic Atlantis pinball machine to jewelry. We obviously took a lot of the family heirlooms out and things like that. But if you go to Twist of Fate estate sales, start at 9 o'clock today, I think 9 o'clock tomorrow again. But go to Twist of Fate estate sales, 9720 Haskell. It says Armbrust Oaks estate sale. It goes till 5 o'clock tonight, I think 5 o'clock tomorrow, but definitely look it up on Twist of Fate estate sales if you haven't forgotten that name yet. And come to the sale. I'm not supposed to be there. I might pop in.
Sign autographs?
Apparently, when you have an estate sale, some people get a little fidgety when like people from the family are there. They think that they don't want to like buy your childhood or something like that.
When they're complaining about how much they're charging for an item.
But in this case, I am inviting people to take a piece of me.
Okay, so if you want a piece,
as long as they pay for it.
Do you have to register online, or can one show up at the estate sale?
Just go to 9720 Haskell Street.
Gosh, there's going to be a traffic jam now. So
absolutely, there will be
especially if there's a chance that you might be there.
There'll be I'll probably be there at 10:30. There will be a 10:30 rush.
So any of the priceless items that people buy, if you're there, would you be willing to autograph them?
Absolutely. Jeff and I, many years ago, stopped signing body parts for liability reasons. We thought it was fun. Sharpie wanted to sponsor us, and we will sign the items.
Okay, so that's the most advertising that an estate sale has probably ever received on the blowtorch. So
Twist of Fate estate sales,
and the most play that Twist of Fate has probably ever received on the blowtorch.
You're welcome to Shell and Joel.
Well, we have a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review this week. You know, Sarah Baker Hansen, the premier food critic and restaurant reviewer in the Omaha area, does reviews for us every other week, and this was one of those weeks. And the restaurant this week is Khao Niao. Khao Niao. It is a Thai
Bless you.
restaurant. Thank you. And they also have some Laotian and Vietnamese food. Sarah reviewed it, loved it. It's located at 155th and Ruggles Street, so a northwest Omaha location. It's really small. So you go there. She said in the review that a lot of their business is takeout, but they do have some seating there, and she liked that quite a bit. So if you want to see that review and read it, just go to growomaha.com. And on the navigation bar, click on Eats, E-A-T-S, Grow Omaha Eats, and that review's there. And then all of the other Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews that Sarah Baker Hansen has written for us. And we want to thank Cheer Athletics, the nation's top all-star cheerleading gym. They have 12 locations nationwide. The Omaha location is near Highway 50 and Highway 370 in Papillion, and they are the sponsors who make Grow Omaha Eats with Sarah Baker Hansen popular. So you'll love reading about that. If you like Thai food and a little bit of Laotian or Vietnamese food, definitely give that place a shot. I'll be there within the next couple of weeks myself. Let's go into our news, shall we?
We always have news.
We always have news, and our news focuses on the growth and development of your favorite city. It's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Physically, their office is located at 114th and Davenport, but they can help you get ready when you are preparing to purchase a home. And we always recommend you get a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage so that you know what you're qualified for, and you can show that to a seller or a seller's agent so that they know you are legit. And like I said, online, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, Trenton, the first item on the news is Farnham Street. And this has been a source of discussion.
You're not even talking about it in a roundabout way, or are you?
Clever. That has been a source of discussion here in the Midtown area for a number of years. Back in the late 50s, it was converted into its current iteration, which is a two-way street that switches directions 2 times a day. So in the morning, when people, at least in the old days, were commuting downtown, it was 2 lanes east. And then in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, when people were commuting from downtown out west, it was 2 lanes west. Well, this created some confusion. Commuting patterns have changed. Offices are all over. A lot of people are doing work from home. So there's been a big movement in the last few years to say 2-way all day, every day.
And right now, I just see it as another reason, and there's infinite reasons, but to not drive drunk.
Well, but it's been that way since the late 50s, really. So it's been a problem. And
to not drive drunk, or the...
And in all seriousness, a lot of accidents on that stretch. And so part of the going to 2-way was not just to get rid of the confusion, but also to make it a safer roadway. But the consultant that the city hired, and you kind of hinted about this a few moments ago, says that we should have roundabouts installed at 50th and 52nd Street. So in the future, and this construction is going to start kind of, sort of, at least the design part of it, yet this year with heavy-duty construction about a year after that. So you'll have a couple roundabouts when you're going on Farnham Street between UNO and
Was that
Midtown.
European Vacation where they're stuck on the roundabout?
It was, yeah. Although we do have a lot of roundabouts.
When it comes to streets, there's one thing you'll never see.
What?
3-way.
3-way? Well, there are 3-way intersections.
Yeah, it's different.
Some people call them a T intersection. So we'll keep our eye on that. That will be an interesting change for the Midtown area. So we have an interesting project in South Omaha. Canopy South is doing some cool developments in South O. And the plan that they have right now is to renovate a former mortuary at 4425 South 24th Street into a work development center. And this is a way, what they're going to do, though, so it not only will be a work development center, but they're creating a system to help people in the immediate area. I believe it is 68107 zip code, which surrounds this ex-mortuary at 4425 South 24th Street. People in that zip code can actually buy into it and actually have equity in the building, and you can buy into it for as little as $10 a month. And so it's a way for, or you could buy more. But this building altogether is 2 stories, 6,100 square feet. And it's kind of a clever way to bring some wealth building and equity building into a typically lower income part of town.
I'd hate to be that title company that has to figure out that ownership structure.
My guess is that there's probably some sort of unique system created for it. There are philanthropic funds that are going to pay for the $1.6 million renovation cost. And so kudos for finding creative ways to do developments in a part of town and to create opportunities for people that might not otherwise have those opportunities. So you always have to be careful when you say this company name on the radio, but here goes. Smart Asset has ranked Omaha number 4 on its list of best cities for young professionals in 2022. So Smart Asset does these lists all the time. And in this one, they took 144 of the nation's largest cities across 9 metrics. And the focus was on professionals 25 to 34. So, Trenton, would you care to guess which city was number 1 for young professionals on that top 10 list?
Well, Omaha has a lot of smart assets here. I would say Austin.
No, it was Minneapolis. But Omaha was 4th. So here's the top 10. Minneapolis, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Seattle, Omaha, St. Paul, Minnesota, Huntsville, Alabama, Madison, Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Missouri, and Lincoln came in 10th. So 2 Nebraska cities.
We'll take it.
In the top 10. So young professionals, come here, stay here. There's all the proof that you need. This is the place that you want to live. Hey, cool project coming to Old Town Bellevue, Trenton. Have you been to Old Town Bellevue at all recently? I hardly ever get down
there.
there.
A great bakery of a lady we knew. Her mom had a bakery down there. Do you remember that?
I do remember. That's going back a ways.
And I also remember
the meadery.
Irwin's the meadery, and we had him on the show. It was bee wine, or it was honey wine.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Irwin died, what was the guy's name at Irwin's Jewelry?
Oh, that I don't know.
Had those customized Peggy Carr Omaha Skyline plates.
Oh, he was the guy that
I was
had
buying
those?
the heck out of those and giving them as gifts.
But when the meadery was there, you're right. We had them on the show, and that's the only time that I was maybe a little bit compromised at the end of the show. I drank so much of that meadery that by the end of the show, I was feeling I was not quite my sharp self.
We've had people bring product samples.
I don't think
The one thing about having about 950 shows over the last almost 19 years, Jeff, is I'll say to somebody, hey, you should come on our show. He's like, I was on there in 2006. And I'm like,
sure, we remember that.
Yeah, we remember that.
So going back to Old Town Bellevue, local city officials and Mercury Builders broke ground this week. It's called the Frontier District. It's going to be a project that's intended to transform that Old Town Bellevue area into a more thriving, energetic, better-looking district, if you will. So it's going to be a phased revitalization, and the first project is what's going to be known as the Bridge Flats in the Frontier District. This is a 4-story building. It'll have 43 residential apartment units, 18,000 square feet of first-floor commercial space. It'll be on the north side of Mission Avenue between Washington and Jefferson Streets, where the former City Hall used to be before it moved to a different part of Bellevue.
So it's kind of like Plattsmouth, where you really, you've got to have something unique. If you want the masses, and I know that people have tried to, I call it cornering the market or whatever, because you've got the greater Omaha area. If you want to, just like the Meadery or Irwin's or something, you got to have something classic. Stella's is a good example of people going to Bellevue and voted the burger bracket for Sarah Baker Hansen. Stella's won, and people want to go and check it out or something like that. So I think it's great, and it's just a difference between a community center, a neighborhood center, and like a regional draw. And trying to get people down there, but it's a cool place, and they're so close to the river down there too.
Well, and I think that's one of the things. I think one of the things you're implying is that Old Town Bellevue has lacked big anchors, and I would agree that because if you look at
a lot of people that listen to our show think anchors are a department store
or big time draws. How about that?
Yeah.
So we're here in Dundee, and there's a collection of great restaurants here in Dundee. Like the Dundee Dell was world famous supposedly, and then you go to the old market. It's probably the most visited part of Omaha in total. And I think what people are trying to do in Bellevue is to get Old Town to be a little bit more like that. Like you look at the Blackstone district, it kind of came out of nowhere. It went from
last 10 years.
Yeah, vacant and derelict to one of the most popular parts of the city. And people have proven to love these types of districts. People like those interactive, mixed-use, entertainment-heavy places.
So the question is, what does it take to get people to travel? Like, what doesn't the Blackstone District, the Old Market, and all these kind of have? And it's a really big challenge to make it a not so much a boardwalk, but to go to dinner and then go listen to live music. Do you turn it into an entertainment center, restaurants and bars and things like that? Or do you turn it into a family environment to get people to go down there? And it's got a lot of competition. And quite frankly, although it could be really cool, I'm sure they'll do some neat things for it, it'll be really hard to make it a draw when somebody's saying, okay, well, we can go down to this free park downtown now and go to the old market and go to a restaurant, or we can go down to Bellevue and spend the day there. And I wish I had the answers for them, but I'm sure they're going to be creative.
I know one of the things they'll have to do, though, is make sure it's its own district. I think if you ever try to recreate anything else, then you'll probably fail. And I think they're going to find a way to honor what's unique about the original part of Bellevue. The first city in Nebraska, by the way. The oldest city in Nebraska.
So they got that going for them.
Which is nice.
But yeah, exactly. But I think they'll do something for their citizens, too. The frosting is going to be getting people from West Omaha to go there. And just like the taco ride on the Wabash Trace or something like that, which I've heard of, I haven't been on.
I would go for the tacos.
That gets people from West Omaha to go through there and go down the trail.
And that's your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. You can find out more about them at eaglemortgagecompany.com. We're going to take our first break of the hour. And when we come back, we're going to introduce you to Brad Jones. He is the head of MyStaff, Inc. It's a human resources recruiting firm, and they're going to be our business spotlight today. So you're going to enjoy learning about that company. Much more to come as well. You're listening to Grow Omaha on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
This is Darcy with Dingman's.
So you're at a staff inspection?
Dingman's Collision Center and B&M Roofing.
Retain the value of their vehicle by
That should be your campaign, right?
It should be.
Yeah.
Should be. We should
Spell a little
put that in
different.
somewhere. It is. Yeah.
So this will just be basic questions about the company and about the industry and what the trends are and stuff you know very well.
So do you do nurse staffing as well?
No,
So
no.
that makes you unique, actually, because Omaha the capital of, and they all, just like home instead, everything grew out of RES.
Right. Pretty much.
Which
Yeah.
is the medical side of the nurse staffing side of, was it RES or called something else?
It was Arias, yeah, and then Medical Solutions, bought the whole company.
Right.
And I think they kept the commercial divisions like Arias Group and Celebrity and some of the staffing, I guess, branches. But
They own Celebrity, they own RES, and then
our staff was another one that did more of the light industrial
Okay.
staffing. So those were the more locally focused commercial divisions, and so that's kind of where I cut my teeth. And then
on the
Arias Group, so placing
Okay.
accountants. So
Okay.
we work with most of the larger healthcare organizations in town, but we're placing their accountants and HR and
Okay.
customer service, administrative type positions. So no, I've never really gotten into nursing.
do you know the name? I think it was more industrial and day laborers and stuff. And I was going to move back to Omaha 30 years ago. I talked to him. He was down by the right across the street from the Roswell Computer. Mel Bornstein had what was it called? It was like laborers and stuff. An old guy, nice guy.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it had a freestanding building right there.
Yeah, it was a gas station.
Yeah, probably.
It's where that Holiday Inn is now.
Is it really?
Yeah, downtown. You're talking about downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be
Is
like
it Howard?
24th and Farnham.
Okay.
Yeah. It was
Isn't-
there was a gas station.
Isn't Blumpkin on the Rose Blumpkin Theater on the Rose on Howard?
Farnham.
Is it 20th Farnham? Okay. Roger, you got your party shirt on. Show Roger's shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Roger doesn't get enough. Look at him.
Doesn't get enough
Was
exposure.
it like laundry day or something?
It was in the back of the closet, and it was clean, but I don't think I've worn it
Looking
in
good.
10 years.
You might run by a luau or something on the way home. Or
You never know.
looking good.
Trenton loves commenting on people's clothes and on their looks.
Yeah, because I have like 5 shirts I wear when they fit, and I am what I am.
Like whenever I wear something that is out of character for me, it's new. One of my little games is to see how long it takes to get a comment.
Yeah.
Usually not very long.
And then when somebody wears funky shoes, I'm always like, nice shoes. Are those prescription?
Or the other is like, I hear that's coming back in style. That's his favorite line.
This style's really coming back. Just about to intro it. Do not touch your lips to that.
Okay.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. Speaking of Dingman's Collision Center, they have locations all across the metro area. There are actually 4 of them, family owned and operated since 1996. They're in Northwest Omaha, Midtown Omaha, Southwest, even in Papillion. Dingman's Collision Center has been chosen as Best of Omaha in auto body repair. Get this, every year since 2005.
I've used them. They're good.
Mic on. There you go.
Dingman's also has mechanical over 120th and Maple that do a great job. I've used both the mechanical and the body shop, and unfortunately and fortunately.
Yeah, good way of looking at it. So, hey, we're going to do a company spotlight right now like we periodically do. And today we're going to focus on MyStaff Inc. And the head of MyStaff is with us, Brad Jones. Brad, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
It's good to have you on. And so kind of give us the little 30,000-foot overview of MyStaff.
Sure, yeah. So we are a boutique staffing agency. We've got 9 employees, and essentially we help Omaha companies find talent. And I guess we've expanded beyond Omaha throughout Nebraska, but initially started really focusing on our backyard, focusing on the Omaha area. So a lot of accounting, administrative, clerical, human resource type positions. And we get to meet a lot of business owners and large organizations, get to know what they do, and try to help them find the best person for their teams.
At MyStaff, what size of firms do you like to? What's your sweet spot as far as working with companies? Is it small private companies? Is it larger companies?
So we do both. We work with most of the Fortune 1000 companies in town, but personally, I love working with small and mid-sized businesses. I can relate to some of the hiring challenges that they've had, and helping them find those kind of key players within their organizations to help lead and grow. I find that to be pretty impactful. So, but we work with all of them. I mean, everyone needs accounting, and everyone needs that strong clerical person. So we do a little bit of everything across so many different sizes.
We're talking with Brad Jones, owner of MyStaff Inc. And Brad, you talked about the challenges, and that's all we hear about when we talk to people when it comes to hiring or growing their business. How bad is it out there to get talent these days?
I mean, it's tough. In some verticals, there are twice the number of jobs as there are qualified candidates. So, the competition is pretty fierce when it comes to finding very skilled labor, and a lot of companies are missing out. We're seeing increased wages like we've never seen before. Candidates are getting 4 and 5 offers as they're putting their resumes out there. So, time makes a big difference when you're going through the interview process, and it's really more competitive than I've ever seen it.
So at MyStaff, I'm sure that one of the most important things is to get quality candidates
Right.
for the companies you work with. And the last couple of years, the bar hasn't been set very high for. There's been so many jobs available that some candidates kind of skate through or whatever. How do you screen potential candidates? Because obviously it's to your best interest to have candidates that not only do a good job but stay in place.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and through any interview process, you try to be as thorough as you can and ask questions about their work history, try to get references, try to qualify them as much as possible. But I think that a lot of employers are looking to their prior work history just to identify patterns. Are they job hopping? Are they moving around quite a bit? Is this person going to be loyal to me? And that, we've certainly seen an increase the last couple of years in candidates who have had shorter tenure with companies than maybe what we saw 10 and 15 years ago. But I think employers are loosening some of their qualifications when it comes to education. And
tattoos.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe focusing a little bit more on whether or not this person can do the job for me right now, and not looking as much at, is this person going to be here in 5 or 10 years?
But it really is a two-way street. Employers have to keep up their end of the bargain and treat their employees well, and both sides of that relationship have to work, obviously.
Definitely. And we've seen a lot of employers really adapting to that and trying to offer more benefits, better benefits, increasing wages for all employees. So they're overcoming equity issues as they're hiring in new employees and raising their existing employees. Some are offering hybrid, some are offering remote. So just trying to offer more flexible working conditions for a lot of their workers, keep them happy.
Brad, when we talk about the talent shortage, do you see any change in the last few months? Is it getting better, worse, or is it pretty much static?
I would say it's pretty static. This time of year, I always tell people that our industry sort of follows the school schedule. So the interview process takes longer during the summer. I think, people are using vacation, whether that's on the employer side or the candidate side. So, from interview to hire, the process stretches out a little longer through summer months, and we're starting to see an uptick going into the fall. But that's a typical situation for our industry. Same thing sort of happens around the holiday season. So based on the number of positions that are coming into us, we're not seeing any signs of hiring slowing down, and we're not seeing. And we advertise positions as well. We're not seeing an uptick in number of candidates that are looking for positions either. So I'm not expecting big changes into the next couple of months.
Brad, before we wrap up, I want to ask you a little bit about how people can access your services.
Sure.
Do you represent employers? Do you represent candidates? Do you represent both? And how would people interface with MyStaff Inc.?
Sure. Well, we need both in order to be successful. So, I spend a lot of my time working with companies trying to identify who they need. And then we have a team of recruiters who are really focused on the candidate side, trying to make sure that we are finding the right folks for these companies. So we advertise our positions on our website, mystaffinc.com. And then we're always available to set up virtual interviews and over the phone if someone wanted to reach out to us that way.
So if a candidate wants to be on your radar, they can do that.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, the company is MyStaff Inc., mystaffinc.com. Outstanding services in staffing and recruiting and temporary services here in the metro area. Brad Jones, appreciate you joining us. And we also appreciate you being one of the sponsors of our Grow Omaha Weekly Market Report.
Well, we love it. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of it.
That's awesome. All right, Brad Jones from MyStaff Inc. We're going to take our middle of the show break for the news, and then when we come back, we're going to have our commercial real estate development spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies, and we're also going to talk about an organization called Rejuvinating Women, which is doing some amazing things here in the metro area. You're a lot to come. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Nice work. You can link it, and Roger will have it up tomorrow.
Good stuff.
On our podcast and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Man, as a free
It's going to be a tough industry these days. You just keep you on your toes.
Yeah. I mean, we love
Fast
it.
moving.
Obviously, a ton of companies coming to us right now because they can't find people on their own, but it's tough to find, job
So-
seekers.
A company comes to you. Do you try to get that? Obviously, you'd like it to be an exclusive relationship, but are they going to 5 different companies? And
Some of it, the larger companies usually use multiple. We try to get exclusive relationships with some of the smaller ones.
if you deliver the
Who's calling you?
Yeah,
Julie
we try to be kind of their
Shrader is her
go-to.
Okay, you need this?
Extension
No,
of
I just
barrier
found it right
is
here.
sort of how we
I'm sure it's
describe
just
it.
debris.
So, with the small companies, don't hire somebody. We'll just take care of it for you.
That's
We'll
great.
help keep it
Looks
going.
like there's a signature on it.
I know it's fast moving right now. So
Yeah.
it's been fun, but I frustrated for some of our
Huge.
clients.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe it was.
I feel we built a company too, and then we're like, let's go just work for somebody. I'm an independent contractor, so
Yeah.
I don't know what a paycheck is really, but seems to work. So. But no, you'll get good feedback on this. And,
Well, hopefully we're okay.
all right, see you at the estate sale.
I'll be there.
He's like, I'll clear my calendar, I guess.
Headed straight there. Well, thank you guys again.
Brad, thanks much, man.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah.
Have a good
You
weekend.
got big weekend plans?
It's Project Houseworks Brush Up Day.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on their board, and we paint a bunch of houses for seniors and stuff. So
you're gonna
headed to go do that.
put on some painter's clothes?
I'm actually not painting. I'm taking food to the teams this
Oh,
year,
okay.
but I've painted a bunch in past years.
Much better job.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, so doing that, just hanging around.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah. Very good. And I've got a couple of baseball games to
Oh,
go to
fun.
this afternoon, and then
Nice.
other than that, enjoy the good weather. But,
Yeah.
it's cloudy though.
Lucked out.
At least the temperatures are nice.
Well, it's a good day for Dundee Day.
Yeah, I know it. They, I mean, I couldn't believe how crowded it was already there.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope my car's still there. I pulled up on a street and parked. It looked like it was okay. So.
Yeah, had we known, we would have warned you. But every year,
It just pops up.
every year, it just I never know about it until I come up to the roadblock.
Yeah, I never
And
think
I was like,
about it, but
crap.
I always remember it's the Saturday before the first Husker game.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. So if the Husker game is early or later, they adjust.
I don't know if they do that much. I think they pretty much just plan. They know. Now this year, we're a week 0 game, so
Yeah. Remember, like it wasn't that.
I think they knew a year ago that we were going to do. I mean, the schedule would settle.
You remember it's like a few years ago, they used to say in the first week and the second week. Now we have to say week 1, week 2. Whatever happened to make it? I don't know. It used to be like, oh yeah, it was a great game back in the 3rd week. Now it's like week 3, week 0. And everyone does it.
Do you want me to plug this after this break or the next break?
For what?
Just say it one more time.
We got it covered. I don't think so. I think we got it.
You think so?
I think we got it covered.
You're gonna do it, so you might as well. Would
You're really
would
gonna
you
do it
freeze to
again?
death or burn to death?
A bit much.
I don't think so.
You gave that Kevin 9,000.
I gave her 558, 1110, and 9,000.
Which one did you give first?
I usually give 558 first.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the one I know. 558, 1110.
Yeah, but 556 9,000 lights of light.
Oh, and remember we used to also do it back in the day with PR or 1-800-543-1110. And then there was a time where there was like
Pound
and
talk on
pound
Alltel.
something on
Pound
your
talk.
Alltel wireless.
Yeah.
Back when we used to do that. When we were on the old radio station, I remember, or pound 1290 because we were on K-Car,
Or
or
Nextel.
pound 1290 on your Alltel wireless. You know what I was saying? Pound with it, or pound 1290 on your Alltel wireless.
If you don't tell me, I'm just gonna blurt it.
What?
When do you want it?
Till you already like spent like 10 minutes
You
on
have a
it.
choice. My peeps are counting on me.
Maybe do a quick shout out during the lightning round or something. We're gonna be kind of tight though because we got the Noddle, Spot, Julie, and the lightning round.
Do you see how he treats me? Brad.
Partners, I know.
I spent like 5 minutes on it.
You were asking questions too.
I was told though. I mean, it sounded good.
I know. I was trying to like
Your
encourage
guest
this.
was smart enough to use the 9,000.
Oh wow.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Good, good to see you.
Brad, I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your weekend.
Sounds good. You too.
And you know, one of the perks of bringing the food is you get to eat some on the car right there.
Here, we're just wrapping up a couple of commercials. and we'll be-
Take a left.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a maze.
Hold on.
What food are you talking about?
What's that?
What kind of food are you talking about?
He said he was bringing the food to the painting thing this year. That was his job.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that painting thing.
Yeah, he was just saying that he's on a committee that paints houses for seniors.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he said this usually he paints, but this year he's just bringing his food duty.
Dude, you said duty.
Duty, not doo-doo.
All right, so she's ready.
Okay. Do you want to, since you know her, do you want to put a lead on this, or do you want? She gave us some talking points. She gave us some talking points.
No, you can leave it.
Okay.
Or your headphones.
Those might not work
Yeah, they
now
work.
that I've pulled on them.
That's how we break headphones.
Yeah.
And only have one ear.
Do you find yourself stuck in a time?
That's the first time I've ever done that one, though. I've had a few other.
I've only done it 1,000 times.
With your foot?
Yep.
I don't think I've done that before.
Oh, yeah.
The secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-909-9696. That's 800-909-9696.
So should we just go in order? I'll do 1, you do 2.
and long-term care for your vehicle's engine. Anderson Convenience Market, serving Omaha since 1952, and now once again providing red, white, and blue.
They still have the old version of this commercial. I wrote a shorter script.
After torrential rains delayed us, I was able to connect with Vice President Mike Pence on Friday night. Hear our conversation about the FBI 2024 and more, Monday, 5:05, only on News Radio 1110, KFAB.
And welcome back to Grow Omaha, the area's only show focusing on the growth and development of your favorite city. And we are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing, the metro area's premier roofing contractor. And for those of you in Iowa, they also provide services in the Des Moines area. And it's not just roofing, it's siding and too. Technically, the company is called D&M Roofing and Siding, dandmroofing.com. Well, it's time for our commercial real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Company's been in business for quite a while, doing developments all over the country, but the ones we are really excited about are the ones they do here in town, like the Builders District and Exarban Village, River's Edge, Steel Ridge, and so many others. One of those projects is the Nebraska Medicine campus out by Village Point. And as part of Nebraska Medicine's new sustainability commitments, the future medical office building at Village Point will feature quite a bit better than average energy efficiency. Not only does the facility meet the 2018 International Energy Conservation Code, but the engineered combination of additional insulation at the exterior, the glazing, the energy efficient chiller will allow the facility to meet all sorts of nice requirements. So traditionally designed medical office buildings can save quite a bit of money, and that's something that's going to be really cool about that new medical building under construction on the west side of Village Point. And before we go, I also want to congratulate Jane Noddle, the president and CEO of Noddle Companies, because earlier this week, Wednesday night, he was named to the Omaha Business Hall of Fame, a well-deserved honor. And Jay, and leading real estate companies and development companies, and also a contributor on this show. So congratulations to Jay. And while Trenton is getting it,
I'm pretty sure that John Lund was also the runner-up for the Business Hall of Fame as well.
Well, John Lund, a founder and chairman of Lund Company, was also a recipient. So
that's
was
right.
Carmen Tapio, CEO of North End Teleservices, and Don and Linda Eccles, co-founders of Scooters
Congratulations to the 22 inductees.
All very well deserved. Okay, so let's go talk about an interesting organization that's doing some very important work. We have with us Julie Shrader from Rejuvenating Women. Good morning, Julie, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. And why don't you give us a little bit of an overview of what exactly is Rejuvenating Women?
Yeah. Rejuvenating Women provides hope and restoration to survivors of human trafficking and exploitation. And we do that with a short or long-term housing program that focuses on their complex trauma and the recovery.
This is such an important topic, and why is Omaha always referred to as a very active place for trafficking of humans?
Yeah, well, one reason is because of our interstate system and the way that they cross with our highways and interstate. We are also, in the center of the country, a pass-through state, if you will, and because of a lot of the sporting events that happen here in Omaha, such as College World Series and the swimming trials when they were here, when there is a big gathering of people, that just naturally brings the human trafficking piece, unfortunately.
Now, you have plans for a program to help more trafficked children under 19. Understand you're currently in negotiations with some landowners for some space. Can you give us an update on that?
Correct. Yes. We right now, my board of directors is in talks, and with our attorney, who is on our board as well, in talks with the landowners, and we have been talking with a private donor who is looking at purchasing that land for us. So between all of these talks, and we've had a lot of meetings lately, we know that the zoning is a go because our attorney has met with the county attorney there and some of the other individuals in that decision. So we're a go. We're just waiting right now to figure out what the first step is and if we're going to partner with this private entity to purchase the land.
Tell us about, you have a fundraiser coming up called Restored Wings Gala on September 8th at Embassy Suites in La Vista. Tell us about that and also how people can get involved.
Sure. The gala is our largest fundraiser every year. This will be our 8th one, and it highlights a keynote speaker, Jessa Dillo Crisp. She is from Colorado, and she is a survivor of familial trafficking, which means her parents sold her. She was also sold during the Olympics when they were in Canada by her parents. She'll be speaking, sharing her story. We've got a couple other smaller speakers. One is an employee of ours who's going to be sharing a little bit of her story, and of course it's a fundraiser, so it's to better what we are doing. It's to provide the needed resources currently for the women in the program, such as food, shelter, clothing, all of those necessities. That really helps.
How can people find out online about your organization and contribute either for the fundraiser or just to the cause?
Sure. They can go to rejuvinatingwomen.org. Make sure the spelling's correct. Some people want to put an I in there and then you won't get anything, but it's rejuvinatingwomen.org. We're looking at, of course, changing and rebranding that a bit once we get this ranch for kids. So, rejuvinatingwomen.org. You can find anything you need there, including purchasing the link to purchase tickets for the gala September 8th.
And tickets and tables of 8 are available on that website, and you can order those there. Julie, we appreciate you coming on, and we appreciate everything that you and your volunteers and staff and supporters are doing to make Omaha a safer place.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
That's Julie Shrader, founder and CEO of Rejuvenating Women. We're going to take our final break of the hour. And when we come back, it's going to be the moment that you've all been waiting for, the Turner Construction Lightning Round. And I've got quite a few things on the list for this week, so you don't want to miss any of it. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing. We'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
That is crazy.
My family.
Talking about scum, I mean, if the people that are entrusted, the people that are supposed to take care of you, we're so lucky.
The people that you trust the most, yeah. Crazy. Oh, man.
Let them beat the national lenders on rates and service. Eagle Mortgage online, eaglemortgagecompany.com. NMLS number 2376.
If you are remodeling or demolishing a house, the Habitat for Humanity Omaha resource want to help you recycle quality materials like cabinets, appliances, doors,
Oh, no, some things we don't joke about.
You'll save
Oh, wait.
and reduce waste in landfills. Restore donations and purchases, build homes. No. So if you have a project we can help you with,
Moment of silence.
I don't know how to process this.
Restore.org for a free walkthrough.
It's good.
If you're watching this on YouTube or...
Oh, you couldn't hear it, could you? Yeah, it was...
it wasn't good things.
Oh, the thing that was... One of the speakers...
the keynote speaker at this fundraiser
is not only a survivor of human trafficking, but of familial human trafficking, which means sold by your own family members.
Her parents sold her.
Yeah.
Was it for like a drug high or something?
Probably. I'm sure. My guess. Would be
I need a high. Sorry, Jennifer.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's pretty much probably what it is. Oh yeah. When we're on the phones, you can't hear anything. You're probably like dying. What are they talking about?
And just so your reaction is like, oh, what? I'm like,
And-
what?
All right, I'll make it short. and
You're like,
sweet.
what is it? What is it?
I'll make it short and sweet.
Okay, really short. Because seriously, people will be like,
Building concrete excellence. This is Jim Rose, hoping that you hear every day's Rosie Didn't Nosy live at 8:50 in the morning. But in case you miss it, it's just a click away on the podcast page under Jim Rose at KFAB.com.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here in the KFAB studio, and it's time for the Turner Construction Lightning Round. Turner Construction is building for the future with a lot of projects here in the Omaha area, big ones, medium ones, small ones. Even though Turner Construction is one of the largest construction companies in the country, they here in Omaha behave a lot of times like a small contractor because they'll do retail build-outs. They'll build a new building for your company if you need it. And then, of course, they're capable of doing the big glamorous projects as well. And the vast majority of Turner projects are below $5 million, believe it or not, of total construction value. And they've had hundreds and hundreds of projects each year that they've been in Omaha that fall within that range. And we really appreciate their willingness to be a part of the community by bringing you the Grow Omaha Lightning Round. So thanks to Turner Construction for sponsoring.
And part of the lightning round this week is a reminder to go to twistoffateestatesales.com, and my family's estate, all our worldly possessions that we didn't keep in the family, are for sale at 9720 Haskell Street. That's 5 blocks south of Center, 9720 Haskell Street. Go to Twist of Fate Estate Sales for more information.
But don't delay. Those pieces of Trenton won't last.
Absolutely. And it's going on today and tomorrow. The great deals are to be had.
They're blowing them out.
Absolutely.
They're blowing them out at 9720 Haskell Street. So, Trenton, we got a bunch of things on the docket that are kind of fun to talk about. First of all, let's go into some restaurant and retail talk. First of all, big change coming to Regency Court. The Paradise Bakery and Cafe there, it's not going to be a restaurant anymore.
No, Lululemon, who's a very popular brand. I bought Jeff a pair of stretch pants for Christmas last year from Lululemon.
Look great.
That's gonna be a big store.
Yeah, that will be a nice size store. Lululemon is based out of Vancouver in Canada, British Columbia in Canada, and of course they have the very stylish athletic apparel. It's not inexpensive in many cases, but extremely popular. They do have 2 existing locations in Village Point and in Exarban Village. So we don't know when that would open. The last time I was by there a little over a week ago, they had not really started any interior build out. So unless they've started that in the last week, it's probably still a little ways off, but definitely coming soon. Javi's Tacos. Have you ever had Javi's Tacos?
I like it.
Those are great, man. And it's named Javi's after the owner, whose first name is Javier. I think it's Javier Trujillo. Nice guy.
Wow.
He will hold a grand opening celebration today. In fact, it's already started. It's going on from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. today for their 3rd location, the newest location. It's at 2611 North 204th Street. In the Elkhorn neighborhood. Javi's has existing locations near 180th and Q. That's the original. The second one opened about a year ago at 171st and West Center Road. And as I understand it, I think they plan on continuing to grow.
It's a good product.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. Oasis Falafel has closed at 17th and Harney downtown. The former Lighthouse Pizza space in downtown's Capital District is listed for lease as a turnkey restaurant. So that's available. But down in the Capital District, though, we do have a couple of other businesses that will be opening by the end of the year. One is Texas de Brazil Steakhouse. That's coming soon. And then a sports bar known as Let It Fly will also be coming to the Capital District.
All related, or all sports related, I guess.
Yeah. So there's one in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I don't know if they have any others, but supposedly it's pretty big and it's going to be pretty nice sized. Pet Supplies Plus. That's a lot of plosives. Pet Supplies
Someone
Plus.
answered the call on radio. You always hear about own your own Pet Supplies Plus store.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. Well, they are opening one, at 132nd and West Center Road in Baker Square. So the construction on the space is underway. It'll be on the west side of that strip center. Now, Pet Supplies Plus is out of Livonia, Michigan, Detroit area. They have 560 stores across the country. There is an existing one in Omaha at 9725 M Street. Now, when I looked, that was the only location I could find in Nebraska. They do have 5 locations in Iowa. So another national retailer expanding. They're already here, but they're expanding in the marketplace. So something that I thought would be kind of fun to go over, the Dodge Voice, which is the blog of NP Dodge Real Estate, has released its list of the 9 best places to eat in Omaha's Old Market. So now what would be your number one in the Old Market?
I like Plank and I like M's.
They both made the list. I probably would put M's as my number one just because of
La Bouvette's up there too.
And it made the list. But I would probably put M's on my list just because of all the good memories of going there and all that. But okay, so here's, according to NP Dodge Real Estate Company, number 1, Gather. Number 2, La Bouvette Wine and Grocery. Number 3, Les Bouillons. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Les Bouillon. 4, M's Pub. 5, V Mert. 6, Boiler Room. 7, Block 16. It's just not really the Old Market, but near the Old Market. 8, Mercury. That's kind of a little bit, that's like, off Broadway. That's off Old Market. Plank Seafood and Provisions was number 9.
Yeah, so, I think those are all great choices. There are other great restaurants down there.
Yeah, just because your restaurant didn't make our top 9 doesn't mean that you have to feel bad about yourself.
Stokes is always consistent.
I do like Stokes a lot. Congratulations to Omaha-based Anaquim. It is ranked number 612 on the 2022 Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing private companies. And
that's Jeremy and Gwen Aspen do a great job.
And with that, we're out of here. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing, Dingman's Collision Center, and Turner Construction. We'll chat with you again next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
It's a wrap.
Da-na-na-na. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.